All right, we're in the top of the fifth. It's Darling versus Gary Matthews. Let's roll it. And a 2-1. Let's see. It's going to be a 2, and a 1 is going to be a 50E. Let's see what that is in column 2. And a 50E is going to be a ground ball. And I don't think the E takes effect since there's nobody on base. Yeah, the E would be caught stealing home base, and nobody got on base. So that is a what did I just say it was? It was a 50, a ground ball to catcher to first base. Wow, little number in front of the plate by Matthews. Beats it into the ground right in front of home plate. And Darling gets an easy out. Leon Durham now. That was actually a 51, that last one. Because it was a 2-1. So it was a 2, and then the 1 was a 49. So it was a 51. I think I took it as a 50. So it was a ground ball third base. All right, 1 out, and it's Leon Durham. I just rolled the 22, so that's a 2, and the 13. That's going to be line base hit. That's a single with a star. And we got to roll on the catcher. If it's higher than the catcher, then he steals. Catcher's a 3. So let's roll a d6, and it's a 3, so it needs to be higher, so he holds. So Moreland is up. Pitch it is a 3, it's a 1, and then a 2 is a 12 on column 3. A 12 on column 3 is a line out to first base. So it's going to be an L3 for the second out of the inning. So column 3, what did we say it was? 12, and that is a line out. Line out to first base, excuse me. All right, 2 outs here in the top of the fifth. Ron Say hit a home run last time up, and it's a 3 again. That 1 and a 4 is a 53. Column 3, a 53. Column 3 takes us to the asterisk. And that means we're going to have to use this one. So it's a 53, column 3, 53 is a dribbler to the mound. And this one says, roll 1 die against runners, batters, speed. Okay, so say speed is a 2. So if it's if the die is higher, he is out. So it's pretty sure he's going to be out. And then with that green die I just rolled. Oh, here it is. And he is out. So it was, I guess, to the pitcher, I believe. Yeah. 1-3 and the inning is over. All right. Let's trail by 1, 3-2. We go to the bottom of the fifth. Showcasing a little replay baseball. It's Wally Backman leading off. He's a switch hitter. And that's going to be a 5-6. So it's a 1. And a 6 is a 4. On column 5, I believe that's like a ground ball to somebody. It's a ground ball to second base. 4-3. 1 away. Mookie Wilson, the pitch from Sanderson, a 1-5, and he strikes him out. Mookie strikes out a ton for a leadoff guy or a second place batter. That was one of the complaints the Mets always had about him. And that's a 55, so that's a 1 and a 7. That's a base on balls for Hernandez, so a 2-out walk. Mets have a base runner now with the always dangerous Darryl Strawberry. And here's the pitch to Strawberry, and that's a 1 and a 6, a 46, column 1. 46, column 1, and that's going to be a strikeout. It also says something with first base occupied and less than 2 outs. Okay, so it's a strikeout, and that ends the inning. Right, it was 1 and a 6, a 46, and that is strikeout. All right, so we go to Jody Davis leading off the top of the 6th inning. This will be the last inning of the video. Let's do it. Pitch from Darling, and that's a 4-2, so this is going to become, that's an 8, and the 2, excuse me, is second base. Wally Backman is a 3 at second base, so that's an 11. Jody Davis is up, yeah. So that's an 11, column 4, and that is going to be out of first on a ground ball. So it's a 4-3. 1 down. Next up is Larry Boa. There's a pitch from Darling. It's a 5-2, so that's a 5, and a 2 is a 6. That's ball 4. And now the pitcher is going to bunt. This is the whole process now. I have to go to sacrifice. I don't do it very often. So you got to use, let's see. It's a 6, so that's a 3, plus the batter's bunt number on column 6, right? So it's a 3, and then the bunt number is a 10, so that's a 13. Sacrifice 13, good sacrifice. And that's going to go to 13, goes to the 1, goes to the first baseman. It gives me a whole bunch of other instructions. Runners advance 1 base, roll 1 die against the fielder's small error rating if the batter is safe at first, and runner advances. Runners take an extra base on a throwing error. So his Darling's throwing number. And that is a 4. So if the number is higher, then it would be throwing error, and it's not. Okay, so there's no throwing error. So there's 2 outs, runner on second for the top of the order, Dernier. And here's the pitch. And that, again, it's going to be a 3. And then, of course, the infield's back now with 2 outs, column 4. The 6 is going to be the second baseman, who's a 3. So that's going to be a total of a 6. And that'll be an out of first, 4-3. And that retires the side. And now we go to the bottom of the 6th. Mets are bringing up George Foster against Sanderson. Oh, that's foul ball. Lucky souvenir, or souvenir for a lucky fan. And it's a 5-3, it's a 1, and the 3 is an 8. That's ball 4. So he walks. George Foster's on at first. Huey Brooks, the pitch to Brooks. And that's a 36, it's a 3, and a 6 is a 45 on column 3. 45, column 3 says line drive to left. So versus a left-hander, Scott Sanderson is a right-hander. So versus a right-hander, leaping catch by shortstop, runner at second, out on a double play. There's no runner at second. So it's an L6. Next is Knight, a 6-1, that's a 2, and a 1 is an 18, column 6. And that's going to be a deep fly ball to right field. Back to the track is Moreland. He makes the catch. 2 down. And that's Mike Fitzgerald. 2 out, 1 on for the Mets. That's a 2 and a 6. That's a 3. It's a 19 on column 2. Let's see what that's going to be. 19 on column 2. And it's a fly ball to right field to end the inning. And that's about it for... just wanted to do 3 innings just to get a nice feel for the game and to kind of showcase the classic cards a little bit and to tell you about what project I've been working on. One of the many projects I've had ongoing, and with the helper you can do that. You can just save it and it's stored, and I can continue this next year in March if I want, or however I want to do it. So anyway, it's Tony Porter, Cards and Dice. Remember to like and subscribe. I hope you found it entertaining. Take care. See you soon. Hey, welcome guys. This is Tony Porter, Tabletop Baseball. What was I? Okay, we're starting with Replay Baseball. Now, this is a classic set. I'm using book 4. Now, there's several different books. I believe an earlier book is book 3. You can see that at the bottom. Then they have a book after that. There's actually 4 charts that you can get from the company that basically covers all the books. I like going through these books for the nostalgia retro factor. So I use book 4 now. There's some results that have a little asterisk, so I have to use this kind of beat up page here that's been stained. I did not do that. That's how I got it. I got it in a big order, a big lot of stuff, and I think I have a copy that's in better condition with some other stuff that I have. I just have like tons of stuff. I got like 12 sets, from the 60s, from the 50s, the 60s, the 70s, and the 80s, all classic sets. This is right during COVID. I picked up, some people just kind of gave up on their collections, and they sent them all to me. So anyway, I'm using book 4, so that's what I'll be using. And that little, what do they call it here? It's called the new features and amendments, okay, for 83 and 84 replay editions. So let me show you on the book. There'll be times when there's an asterisk, and I'll show you that asterisk right here. Look, take a look. See, this is column 1, and there's a couple asterisks there and here. Okay, so that tells me, hey, look at the amendments, the new features, and then I'll go here and I'll use that. Okay, so that's what's going on with that. It's a little bit complicated, but once you get used to it, I will fumble through it a little bit. I don't play this game all the time. I use their helper on, but I like the classic game. I like the tall pitcher cards. Now, I'm replaying 2 guys that I like. As an announcer, I think Ron Darling is an intelligent guy. I think he's a Yale graduate, and I like him. He's, I'm a Mets fan, so I get to hear him all the time with Keith Hernandez and Gary Cohen. So I'm replaying all his starts for 84, and I'm replaying Doc Gooden's starts for 84 as well. The Mets win 90 games in 84, so that's the first season where they really start becoming, competitive. So I decided, okay, let me just go through. So I'm using Replay Baseball, the PC game, as a helper. And I'm just jumping through the schedule. Right now, I believe I'm in September. Let's see. Let me look at the box score. I am in, the Mets are 70 and 72. Obviously, they did not do as well in this replay as they did in reality. In reality, they had 90 wins. They were 90 and 70. I just, in the games that I've played, I think I've done okay. I don't remember what my stats are, but remember, I've only played Gooden and Darling. All the other games were played by the helper. All right, and I just wanted to enjoy their season and go back in time and do the nostalgia thing. So, all right, so that tells you the story. That's the backstory for this, the context. Now, where am I right now? I'm in the top of the 4th inning. The score is 2-2. We are in Chicago. We are in New York, actually. We are in New York. And as you can see, New York is at the bottom. And it is Scott Sanderson, who can go until the 6th, and Darling can go until the 7th. Now, I'm not going to worry about a lot of those things in terms of there's an extra little number there and so on. I think those are outs. He can go like 6 inning or batters. I think they can go 7 innings plus 4 batters, something like that. But I'm not going to worry about it because I've read it several times and I get tired of reading it because I never really remember what it is. So once they get to the 7th and once he gets to the 6th, if they give up 2 consecutive base runners, like a walk and a hit, then I'll pull them, just like that. That's like my homebrew rule. You know, that's really resolves the whole issue. Plus, the helper tells me when they're tired in terms of, you know, the innings for the season, right? Am I going, because what the helper tries to do is tries to keep those pitchers available so they can get through all their starts and so forth, right? So once those starters get tired, and the helper will turn them red and say, hey, if you let him go and he only has 2 more or 3 more starts, you know, he's not going to be able to get to reach his actual innings pitched because you've used them all already, right? In other words, I'll have reached the maximum innings pitched, and he will not have any starts left, or in the last start he may be only able to go 2 innings. Now, I do have the authority to kind of override and just I can keep on playing him even though he's tired. Since I'm doing the die rolls, it doesn't really matter. The game isn't affecting it. So anyway, that's the whole story. Let's get started. Let's play some classic replay baseball, Tony Porter style, and a little bit chaotic, but you can hang out and be entertained a little bit. So I'm going to do 3 innings. I chose to do the 4th, the 5th, and the 6th. And then I'll leave the 7th, 8th, and 9th because I believe that by the 7th, 8th, and 9th, you're going to start seeing a lot of relievers and pinch hitters and all that. So I just want to kind of get in the rhythm of the game, right? So it's going to be Ron Cey against Ron Darling. Let's roll. Now, in this game, you roll a black die and a white die. I once tried to do a tutorial on this using the modern cards, and I didn't say that I was going to roll red, white, and blue, and I had somebody blow up at me, and they were like, you do a tutorial and you don't even follow what the rule book says. It says to roll red, white, and blue. And I said, whoa. I was rolling whatever, but I kept in my mind what I was rolling. It was green, white, and red, whatever it was. It didn't matter to me as long as I kept them in an order. But of course, the rule book does say, roll red, white, and blue. And that's easy to remember because the colors of the flag. So anyway, in this case, this is Replay Classic where you use a black and a white die. And those are basically the dice that are recommended. All right, so Ron Cey is up. Now, Ron Cey is with the Cubs by 84. He was a long-time Dodger. There's no stats on these cards. These cards are very retro. The stats come in these other kind of team cards. They're really, 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 really small, okay? So I would have to grab my my magnifying glass, and I do not know where that is to be able to read those stats. I don't know if you can, they may look good big on the camera, but in person, they're super tiny. So whatever Ron Cey batted, I could never see that. Well, actually, I could see a little bit of it. Well, let's see where Ron Cey is here. It's really small. Oh, there he is. Looks like he batted 246 with, looks like 23 home runs. So something like that. Not totally sure. Anyway, let's roll. All right, that's a 6 and a 2. So off Darling, let's move that down. It's a 3. And on Cey's column 6, a 2 is a 12. That's a deep drive to left field. That ball is gone. So Ron Cey took that Ron Darling fastball and placed it in left field here at Old Shea Stadium, which is basically the parking lot. I think he put it in the parking lot. Home run for Ron Cey. So that's a 3 and a 9. It's a 12. I'm pretty sure. So like I said, I don't know this game really well. I know a little bit of it. And a 12 is a home run. You can see that right there. Column 6, a 12 is a home run. All right. So it's 3-2 now. And, you know, Ron Darling did give up. Ron Darling had two issues. Gave up home runs and gave up walks. He didn't give up a lot of hits. So he was always kind of, you know, painting the corners. And then when he would get behind, he'd have to come over the plate. And that's when they'd rock him. And he would give up, you know, 24 home runs. I think one of the seasons gives up 28 home runs or something like that. And so he gave up a lot of home runs, and he also walked a lot of guys because he was always painting the corners. He never, you know, he didn't have overwhelming stuff. So he just, you know, did what he could. He was a really smart guy and lasted a long time in Major Leagues. Had some good seasons sprinkled in with some not so great seasons. Never a dominant pitcher. Jody Davis is next. He bats from the right side. Here's the pitch, and that is a 1 and a 6. So that's going to be a 1 on Darling, and a 6 is a 45. It's going to be a 46. Now this may be one of those with the asterisk, and it is. So there is an asterisk. So this tells me to go column 1. 46 is going to be a strikeout. So that's a strikeout for Darling here. Next up is Larry Boa. And that is a 3-2, and that's a 1, and a 2 is a 30. So a 30 in column 3. 30 in column 3 is going to be a line out to short center field. That is 2 outs. And here's the Chicago Cubs pitching card. Originally, they used to have pitching cards for a lot of the pitchers, most of the pitchers, I guess. Not sure. But then they, you know, later on when it became more expensive, the ink became more expensive, the cutting process became more expensive, the packing and the weight of the box became more expensive. They said, let's just create a pitching card for all the pitchers. So this is going to be a 45. Now, this is the... a 5, I think, is third base. We'll see. And column 4 is obviously the fielding column. And a 5 is a 10. So let's see if fielding column 4 with the infield back, the white 5 tells us that it's 5 and 6, 4 and 5 are shortstop. So it's the shortstop for the Mets, and that's Hubie Brooks. Let's see what number Hubie Brooks is. Now, I'll tell you what I did. I actually scanned all these Mets cards. Since I'm using them all the time, I don't want to mess them up, dirty them up, and I don't want to place these into sleeves. So he's a 3 there. He's a 3. So it's a 10. It's a 10 and a 3. That's a 13. So 13, column 4, infield back, is safe at first on an error. So it's going to be an E6. So it's E6. We'll pop that in. So Sanderson hits a hard ground ball to shortstop, and Brooks takes his eye off it and rides up on the heel of his glove, and it kind of rolls away from him, and there's no chance for him to throw out Sanderson, who's hustling down the line. All right. So here's Bob Dernier. Now, Bob Dernier is really fast with a 5. And also an excellent center fielder. He's a 5 in center field. Oh, is 5 good? I can't remember. Or is it low better? No, low is better. So actually, he's not a good center fielder, I think. That's his range, and that's his arm, and this is, I guess, just his regular number. I don't know. All right, a lot of stuff there. All right, so this is going to be a 5-6. That's a 5, and a 6 is a 7. That's going to be a base on balls. Like I said, this is probably the 4th walk for Darling in this game. No, it's the 3rd walk that he's given up. All right. And I think he's hit a batter as well. But it's a problem now because this brings up Ryan Sandberg, and the Mets already trail 3-2. Let's see. Did he hit a batter? I played this last night. No, he hasn't hit anybody. All right. So runners on first and second. Sandberg is up with 2 outs. And the pitch from Darling, and that's going to be a 1 and a 5. That's a 1 and a 5. Is a struck him out. Big K for Darling. And he walks off the mound with his head up high. Got out of that one. All right, but unfortunately gave up that home run. He wishes he had that pitch back. And it's going to be Ray Knight leading off here in the bottom of the 4th. And that's a 55, so that's a 41. 41 and a K on column 5. So that a 41 is going to be, what is that? I can't see squat. Hit by pitch, and then a K. So we're going to go to the last page. I believe the last page has some stuff. Okay, a K is, we're going to roll on this. It's either a wild pitch, a caught stealing, or a pass ball. Let's see. It is a 2, and a K is going to be, there he goes, a throw down, and he is out. So it's a hit by pitch. And then he's caught stealing. So, caught stealing 2 to 4. That's 1 out, and here comes Fitzgerald. So it was a 5 and a, yeah. All right, here's Fitzgerald, the pitch from Sanderson. It's a 1 and a 5 is a 36. That, I believe, is a strikeout on column 1. Column 1, 36. I got to go to the other chart. There's an asterisk there. What do we say? Column 1, 36 is a strikeout as well. 2 out, and up comes Ron Darling. As you can see, these are brighter than these because these are scans, so I wouldn't mess up the cards. I use these all the time when I play, since I'm playing the Mets season for those 2 pitchers. So this is this is a 4, and a 5 is a 17. That 5 is going to be the shortstop, Boa. So it's a 17, and let's see what Boa's at the bottom. And Larry Boa is a 2, so that's 19. So a 19, column 4, with the infield back. A 19 is what? A 19 is something. There it is. It's out of first. So a 19 is out of first. All right. 6-3. And we go to the top of the 5th inning. Leading off will be Gary Matthews.